I'm here with GT. He's a senior hardware engineer at Amazon Robotics. I'm here to interview about a job. Tell me a little bit about your current job.
Yeah, hi Asher. Thanks for coming in today. First of all, it's a beautiful weather up in Seattle here. So I go by GT. My name is Goktug. I'm originally from Turkey. From my job's perspective, as you said, I'm a senior hardware dev engineer here at Amazon Robotics in Seattle. And what we are doing from a day-to-day perspective is what we call it new product initiatives, NPIs. We're trying to introduce those robotic platforms to our fulfillment network, where the packages, items get packaged in and then delivered to our customers' doorsteps.
Right. And what was like your path here, like previous jobs or like education?
Yeah, that's a great question. I graduated from college, undergrad back in Turkey, and my background is in mechanical engineering. So I went my bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering. But while I was doing that, mechanical engineering, I did a minor in electronics or electrical engineering, I guess per se. And then the program was called mechatronics before mechatronics was a thing. This is 20 years ago, and as I was doing that minor, I had a professor who actually came from Vanderbilt University. He was really into robotics, so he set up a robotics lab where we had cool robots like this one that you see in the background, where we had an opportunity to be able to develop some solutions around pick and place applications. That's when I fell in love with that robotics or programming and a little bit more mechanical as well aspects of the automation. And from there, I came to US for grad school. I'm a WSU grad. I did my master's in controls theory and haptics, which is essentially we developed a glove that you can immerse into a virtual environment and feel the objects. So I worked on the controls and the mechanical design aspects of it. And following my graduate studies, I worked for a system integrator in Oregon, and I was there about 11 years before I joined to Amazon. And I've been here for over 6 years now, almost. Yeah.
And for like your job here at Amazon, what does like your typical day to day look like?
So from a day-to-day perspective, we spend a lot of time, looking at the customer requirements or the application specific that we're trying to automate, and from there coming up with different solutions or the right solution for that application. And as we are doing that, we do a lot of exploratory work in the R&D environment. Since we're an R&D group, we're heavily in the early conceptual development and doing A/B test comparisons with different platforms. Like for instance, what type of end of farm tooling you need to do a pick and place application, which one would be the right end of farm tooling. Obviously, in order to find that right solution, you develop multiple different approaches to solve the problem. You collect data in terms of which one has different failure modes and all that, and then try to solve it with the best approach that you come up with that's supported by results of that testing.
Right. What would you say is your favorite part about your job?
So my favorite part of the job is the rate of innovation, and then also the folks that we are surrounded with really diverse background, and how much um, smart people we have around in terms of coming up with different ways to solve really, really challenging problems at Amazon. Because we don't have any other choice. When you go to a standard off-the-shelf integrator or original equipment manufacturer who can provide products, it doesn't quite fit well for what we want. And even if you find a product that might work, it just doesn't hit the KPIs. And Amazon has a pretty high bar when it comes to this rate of the speed of the machines, and then how hardened they are from an availability or fault tolerance perspective is really high bar, and you got to do a lot of constant innovation. So that's kind of the most exciting part of the job, the amount of innovation that we get to do. And as we are doing that, get to meet with really smart people and driven folks around us.
Right. And if you had to say what would be your least favorite part?
Yeah, so from a least favorite part perspective, sometimes I don't want to call it really a least favorite part, but it's just a
Hmm.
natural outcome of being in R&D. You do 10 things and maybe two of them pan out, right? Eight of
Yeah.
the things that you goes to dead end. Sometimes you're really invested in the product or the solution that you believe in, but you can be wrong at times, or there are other circumstances that doesn't mature that product. So being able to seeing some of that solution paths that we believe in or we kind of drive through doesn't turn out to be just a pursuit further. It just dies at the R&D stage.
Yeah.
Might be pretty tough to see, but as I said, it's just a natural outcome of doing R&D. So you only have 20% of success chance.
Yeah.
8 out of 10 things at least that they fail.
Hmm. And what does like a typical entry level position look like in this field?
Yeah, so I can speak from a hardware perspective. We have a pretty diverse engineering background. Like we hire software engineers, we hire industrial engineers, electrical engineers, mechanical engineers,
Hmm.
and project managers. Um, so from a mechanical engineering or the hardware development engineer perspective, what we're looking for is you graduated with a pretty good grades, where meaning that you have responsibility in terms of you've been assigned courses in that case,
Okay.
and you ace them, right?
Yeah.
That's important. Being able to have the responsibility of achieving certain goals that are set in front of you. And then we're looking at the problem solving skills as well, right?
Hmm.
So you need to have a pretty diverse problem solving skills that's developed. Especially you can demonstrate them through internships at college. So those are some of the things that we're looking for the entry level positions coming in. We don't expect them to have a major robotics exposure or experience, but if they do, man, that definitely sets them apart, right?
Right.
If you worked
Yeah.
on robotics projects like nowadays middle school, high schoolers have those first robotics
Hmm.
competitions, or the college proposes some opportunities. If you work for a professor in the lab that touch on some of the robots, typically every college, the mechatronics labs have some sort of a robotic arm
Yeah.
that you done some projects, especially you combine them with vision and all that. That definitely sets you apart.
Right. And would you have any like tips for someone in like one of these entry level positions to like learn faster, like get more out of the experience?
You mean like the coming into the as an entry level,
Yeah,
or
like
prepping to be a
yeah, or
entry level
somewhere in
position?
that range.
Yeah, I mean, like from a tips perspective, obviously, if you have a drive to robotics and to be a robotist, just try to even work on hobby projects, like on the side. In our back in our time, we used to have Lego Mindstorm and all that, and then there's other ones now. These kits that you can buy and then play with and program them. Try to be diverse in using AI tools. In the future, AI is taking more and more presence, and even in the robotics area, we don't expect you AI to do our day-to-day jobs that we do, especially in the innovation in the hardware robotics
Hmm.
platforms. But we do expect to leverage a lot of AI tools. So, like, I would start early to kind of think about some of the tools that you can kind of leverage when you are, for instance, writing a small piece of code, for instance, for a robotics platform. Try to leverage AI tools. That would be my suggestion.
And in like your college experience, did you do any of these like side projects that you really loved?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So I was really active. Like at grad school, I was the president of the international student body.
Oh wow.
So I did a lot of extracurricular activities, which
Hmm.
didn't have anything to do with robotics. But also, I was part of our engineering department, where we had built a race car and then went out and raced against other universities. So just being involved in different aspects of projects, like in First Robotics, I guess, where you do got to have a marketing and a project management, and you have some
Hmm.
software development, hardware development folks, right? Being exposed to these diverse backgrounds gives you that experience. So don't think about that. It doesn't have to be related directly to the curriculum, but if you do some extracurriculum activities, whether it's in robotics or not, that gives you some life skills such as working in a team environment, seeing different aspects of a project. In order for a project to be successful, just doing the hardcore hardware or software development is not enough, right? You got to look at it from a different aspects. Like the systems engineering is a big part of that as well.
And is there anything you wish you had done in college that you didn't do?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know.
Or if you were like happy
Yeah,
what you've done, is there anything you
yeah.
want to share?
So one of the things that I wish I'd done in college, which is kind of interesting, when I came for the grad school out here, we had a lot of lab classes, and then for our thesis as well, we got to do in the do a lot of machining and machine shop experience. So one of the things that I would think, and it's a little bit of a cultural thing too, but I wish, for instance, like as simple as working with your dad on an old car trying to restore, like getting that problem solving skills and hands on experience for grinding parts or fitting parts in or trying to solve like the puzzle pieces,
Yeah.
if you will. I wish I had done it a lot more as I was growing up during high school and all that, and even some college years too, to prep me for grad school and then the work where you do a lot of hands-on, especially in the R&D world, do a lot of hands-on problem solving and hardware building.
And how did you get like engaged with this field? How would you know like this is what I want to do with my career?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of opportunities, right? For instance, early on, I mean, it used to be a little bit different when I was growing up, but now, STEM is a big thing, or robotics is a big thing, and science in general. Trying to engage the students, starting as little as elementary school and middle school. They have these, like especially in the middle school. For instance, my daughter's middle school has a robotics lab.
Yeah.
Right? You can certainly, if you're interested in, or even if you're not specifically interested in one particular thing, typically these schools at the school system has these different clubs, mainly in the starting in the middle school age, that you can kind of explore. You can at least just attend a couple meetings, try to gauge, is that something that you're interested in, or is that something that looks cool to you, or draws you in. So you can start engaging with like that. Those activities will help you. If you get a little bit more involved and you say, hey, I want to do more of this, there's a lot more outside of school activities like the first robotics. Those are some of the first steps. And then you do have career fairs, even at high school and middle school ages, that you have folks from like myself and others from the workforce that come in and do presentations about what they do day-to-day job. And I would just encourage students to talk to those folks and attend those career fairs, attend those different clubs that they have at the school, just to kind of get exposed and understand. It doesn't mean that maybe you don't like robotics, which is totally fine, or it's not something that's, maybe there's something else that draws you more into, but at least just being exposed to it helps you decide.
And did you personally have like an experience or like a certain moment you could name that made you really want to go into this field?
Yeah, I would say it happened at college level. My professor, going back to Bubra, he was really driven, and then was putting together a lab, introducing us that he gave us a tour of the lab, and when I saw the robots making picking up parts and all that, I said, that looks cool. I want to learn more about it, and that's when I started engaged in mechatronics field and robotics field, and never stopped since then.
Yeah. And do you have any like parting advice for someone pursuing a career in STEM?
Yeah. I mean, I would say, reach out. Like for instance, like your YouTube channel is a great example. Go online now. Everything is online, right? I mean, you can go on YouTube and search for, hey, I want to look at STEM, and look at different videos, and then engage with videos like this, and you can always reach out to content owner as well to learn more about it, or get some references. But definitely, doing some your own research, talking to your teachers at school, like middle school and high school. They can certainly guide you through to certain career fairs, or you do have these colleges that open to high school kids just to kind of come in and then tour. I would say just do research, especially starting with online, and tapping into your teachers at school, resources at school.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, of course.